So what day is it today? It's Joseph's birthday. Happy 25th, Joseph, from the original Coke Cobra from Cobra Creek.
Alright, credit to Metal Health Racing for that video. Thank you for that. And welcome to Monster Jam Sign-Up Series Birthday Bash. For those that don't know, it was my birthday yesterday. That's right, I turned 25. And what a perfect Gravedigger to run. Not only am I running this one, but I'm also running the standard one. Oh yeah, 25th all around. Now I know what you're thinking, and hey, why wasn't I told about this? I didn't get a chance to sign up. Well, this was something I thought of at last minute. I'm grilling burgers right now, and I'm just trying to pass the time until they're done. So I handpicked a bunch of drivers. So yeah, if you didn't hear your name, do not despair and stay tuned for the next sign-up series. So we got quite the lineup here. Let's look at our field of trucks. So first off, it'll be me and the Chrome Gravedigger again. Caden Wilson, the standard 25th Gravedigger. Pinchy 08 and Gravedigger Smash and Bash. Metal Health Racing and King Sling. Tristan Racing Fan 2000 and Max D. Connor Nelson 0 and JCB Degatron. The S Kicker and Classroom Crusher. Yeah, that's right. For those that didn't see my YouTube post, I made a post, right? I think I did. But yeah, Classroom Crusher has come out to play. And the S Kicker, he kicked butt in El Toro Loco, now he's in one of the newest trucks. Along with Triple Bacon Chaseburger, another driver that won the Sign-Up Series. In long jump, this time, he's behind the wheel of Bailey Circuit. Yep, that's right. And we got Mayhem Fan 43 and El Toro Loco. Nero Theory and Salvager. Danagosh and Monster Energy. Kenny D, MJ Fan 12203 and Son of a Digger Fire. Aiden Richards and Earthshaker. Spin Master Monster Jam and Overboard. Eli Curie 21 and Wild Side. Yeah, Wild Side. My only complaint about this truck is I feel like it's too dark. I don't know. Anyways, Introvert Drew and Nightwalker. Elizabeth S. Rose and Against the Current. The Cameron 9785 and Uproar. Monster Aviation and Captain USA. Hobby Buddy 99 and Bigfoot. Nuclear 0085 and Rhinomite. Monster Jam Fox 68 and Bounty Hunter. Antonio Rodriguez III and Roar and Rex. Shadow vs. Ghost and Stone Crusher. Rudy Slaggy and The Destroyer. Hey Rudy, I know I said I'd put you in rage, but like I said, this whole thing was a last minute decision. You will be in rage eventually. And last but not least, Mark the Wolves 05 Studios in Wolf's Head. So that's the lineup. Now on to round one, Monster Truck Racing. Alright, round one, we got the Destroyer take on Roar and Rex. And also, that's going to be racing only, kind of like what I did with the 4th of July special. So we got Destroyer in the far lane, taking on Roar and Rex in the near lane. Destroyer being driven by another MTA driver. This time, and he's driving my truck. Rudy, who's normally in rage, he stole my ride. Now here he is going up against the T-Rex, and down they go. Problems for Destroyer, and Roar and Rex. We'll move on to round two. Yeah, I decided to include Roar and Rex since it's only run once. I wanted to give it another chance. Alright, next up in racing, the perfect truck to run on Sunday. Against the Current in the far lane, taking on Gravedigger Smash and Bash in the near lane. Smash and Bash Gravedigger's second time in a Sign-Up Series. See how well he does against the Current. Down they go. And against the Current, front flipping to victory. And Sign-Up Series 14. Ignore that. Forgot to get rid of that. Get back to it. And next up in round one racing, we got Salvager in the far lane. My favorite Spin Master concept. Taking on Stone Crusher in the near lane. Down they go. And another win for the far lane. Salvager advancing to round two. And next up in round one racing. Racing out of the far lane is the Black El Toro Loco, my favorite. Taking on Monster Energy in the near lane. Down they go. And another win for the near lane. Not sure, or the far lane. I'm not sure what's going on with the near lane. Well, I guess it's more covered. Maybe that's it. Alright, next up, making his competition debut, it's Uproar in the far lane, taking on Gravedigger 25th, silver anniversary in the near lane. My mom posted about my birthday, she said, happy silver anniversary of the birth of my son. Like, it's because I sent her a picture of this. Anyway, those trucks got metal old chassis. Down they go. And it's going to be Gravedigger getting the win, breaking the near lane curse. Well, I did fix it like I said I would. And I was not trying to cheat, I promise. I forgot what trucks were next. And next up in racing, in the far lane is King Sling Purple, taking on a truck that's making its competitive debut here today. Classroom Crusher, racing out of the near lane. And it's going to be Classroom Crusher. And next up in racing, another truck making its competitive debut. It's Ringling Bailey Circuit, racing out of the far lane, taking on Captain USA in the near lane. And problems for Captain, unable to keep up, and Bailey Circuit will advance to round 2. Alright, here we go again with this race. I couldn't help myself. Gravedigger 25th anniversary, racing out of the far lane, taking on Bigfoot Glow in the near lane. This was a birthday present from one of my brothers. So, yeah. Down they go. And Gravedigger taking down Bigfoot. And the near lane curse is back. And this is also another birthday present from the same brother I mentioned. Maybe I'll customize them later. I just thought I'd run them here. His Son of a Digger Fire, racing out of the far lane, taking on Earthshaker Ice in the near lane. Down they go. And that's going to be a win for Team Ice, despite it being in the near lane, which is the curse lane. Alright, next race. These two trucks got something in common. They're wild. We got Nightwalker racing out of the far lane, taking on Wildside in the near lane. Another truck making his competitive debut. And he's going up against the big bad Nightwalker. And down they go, both of them. And it's going to be Wildside. And I'm going to have to check the burgers after this round. I'm starting to smell them. Anyway, he's racing out of the far lane. It's Bounty Hunter taking on Wolf's Head in the near lane. The only other Wolf truck in here besides Nightwalker. Down they go. Problems for Wolf's Head, and Bounty Hunter is going to make it to round 2. Look at this friggin' guy. What am I going to do with him?
Cheeseburgers. Gotta check them.
Alright. Alright, a couple of races left with Rhynamite. Power Smashers got us at 5 below today. Racing out of the far lane, taking on Overboard in the near lane. And problems for Rhynamite, and Overboard flies to victory. Man, he just went flying, absolutely destroying the near lane curse. Only one race left. And last race of round 1. Max D in the far lane, taking on JCV Digatron in the near lane. This is my favorite Max D body, that's why I'm running it again. Down they go, the both of them. And Digatron comes apart, but still gets the win, taking down Max D. And before we move on, we got a fast loser race. We got Uproar taking on Nightwalker. Despite the body falling off, he still wants to race. Let's see what he can do against Nightwalker. Down they go. And Uproar is back for revenge. Alright, let's check these things. Woo! Why am I filming this? Yeah, I guess if things don't work out for me with my current job, I'll just always get a job at McDonald's, huh? Alright, burgers are flipped and the body's back on Uproar. I just taped it to the chassis. I'll glue it back on later. Anyways, here's round 2 is underway. Here we go. Against the current taking on Roaring Rex. Round 2. And problems were against the current and Roaring Rex will advance to round 3 against the current borrowing Scooby-Doo chassis, while this actual chassis is being worked on. And next up, my favorite Spin Master concept and my favorite El Toro Loco body. Salvager taking on El Toro Loco. And it's going to be El Toro Loco. And next up in round 2 racing, Classroom Crusher in the far lane and Gravedigger 25th in the near lane. And it's going to be Gravedigger taking down Classroom Crusher. And next up, we got Bailey Circuit in the far lane taking on Gravedigger in the near lane. Let's see if this Gravedigger can win. And he's going to take down the newcomer. Well, it's going to be a Gravedigger versus Gravedigger race for round 3. And next up, in the far lane, Wild Side taking on Earthshaker Ice in the near lane. And Earthshaker runs into Wild Side, but despite that, Wild Side still gets the win. What a wild race. And next up is Team M2 Extreme versus Team Overboard. Bounty Hunter taking on Overboard. And it's going to be Overboard. Alright, next up, or last up for round 2, JCB Digatron taking on Uproar, whose body is barely hanging on. And down they go. And Digatron coming apart again, and Uproar unable to keep up. Oh, man. And before we move on to round 3, time for a fast loser race again. So we got Bailey Circuit taking on Classroom Crusher. And Classroom Crusher is back in the game. School is back in session. This is round 3 racing. El Toro Loco taking on Roaring Rex. And over they go, but El Toro Loco is going to get the win. The Crazy Bull takes down the T-Rex. Alright, it's a Gravedigger matchup. Gravedigger 25th Standard taking on Gravedigger 25th World Finals. And the Chrome Gravedigger will move on to round 4, which is semifinals, I forgot. Alright, it's a father versus son matchup. Wild Side in the far lane taking on Overboard in the near lane. And they collide in midair, but Wild Side pulls out of it and gets the win. This is the second time a truck has collided with Wild Side. And the last race, round 3. JCB Digatron taking on Classroom Crusher. And it's going to be Classroom Crusher crashing into a pile of rubble left over from the last time series. This is the semi-final round. El Toro Loco taking on Gravedigger 25th. And it's going to be Gravedigger 25th going to the finals. I swear I did not do anything to this truck to make myself win. You know I don't do that. I don't run like that. I could care less if I win or lose. And who will be facing Gravedigger in the finals? Will it be Wild Side or will it be Classroom Crusher? Only one way to find out. Classroom Crusher! And this is the final race. New truck versus one that's won many times. Racing out of the far lane. He doubled down in the last time series. It's the S-Kicker in Classroom Crusher. And in the near lane, celebrating 25 years, it's me in Gravedigger. Oh, the Chevy panel van versus the school bus. Somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose. Let's go racing. And it's going to be me and Gravedigger. Yeah. How about that? And that's what I get for putting myself into this. And there's not going to be a freestyle. Just that's this. Alright, well that concludes the birthday bash. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe. And thank you everyone for the birthday wishes. And I hope to see you in the next Science series. Whenever that may be.